evening, everybody, and thank you so much for joining. If people could come and take their seats, we'd like to get started. So on behalf of the Ridgewood High School Alumni Association, I'd like to welcome everybody to our Distinguished Alumni event. This is the third event that we've held. We're delighted to finally be here in person after 2 years of postponing the event. So thank you, everybody. We have an extremely impressive lineup tonight. So our first alumni or honoree is Allie Stroker, who will be introduced by her father, Jim Stroker. So Jim.
Well, this is like one of my favorite things in the world. I guess for a couple of different reasons. I guess number one, because I'm around some of my favorite people in the world. And, you know, when speakers blah, 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 sometimes you know it's blah, blah, blah. Like, this feels so almost spiritual. And like if you had one last opportunity to talk to a group of people, this would be it tonight. So the word grateful, which shows up a lot, they say that the definition of gratitude or grateful is basically it's defined by the meaning or the quality of your level of thankfulness. And then the readiness to show appreciation for and return kindness. I'm enamored by that definition because what it really says is if in fact you're grateful, if in fact you feel this high level of being thankful, then kindness just shows. And so I am so grateful and appreciate so much this whole group and Ridgewood as a community. So recently there's been a big game on which we all have been talking about where St. Peter's, upsets, like creates this miracle, like does the impossible. They beat Kentucky with these undersized Jersey kids with some coach, Shaquille Holloway, that comes through with this high level of optimism. And you see this finishing touch with them scoring and people going crazy. And then you realize what coaches know. What people who have spent their life coaching teams know is that the end of the game or the outcome was determined by things you'll see in the game film. And then you go back and watch the game film and you forget about the little things. The kid that cut off, the driving guard on the baseline, the little sweet bounce pass that was thrown early in the game. The day before when the backup player got up in the face of the point guard and ferociously, tenacity, went up and said, go ahead, challenge me. That all these little things led to the outcome. But unless you watch game film, you just think it's about the outcome. So Allie Stroker rolls up on the Tony stage. And so many of you won that award. She misspoke. She misspoke. She rolls up and says, this award is for every kid who's watching tonight with a disability, a limitation, or a challenge that's been waiting to see themselves represented in this arena. You are. But she really misspoke. Because this award was for all of us. Because all of us, adults and kids, every day, or every month or every year face challenges and difficult things. And she was there as a symbol for all of us. To pick our chins up, to not make the event of the life dictate the outcome, but to choose your response that she does. Every day she transfers 7 times from bed to car. Usually singing. That every day we pick, you and I, what we choose to focus in on. That which we can control or that which we can't. And then finally, the dare is given. Muhammad Ali said, impossible, Ali says. It's just a big word thrown around by small people that find it easier to settle in to the world they've been given rather than explore the possibility of change. And then Ali comes with this great stuff. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Can you turn an obstacle into an opportunity? This is just all blah, blah, blah shit. Excuse me? This is all theory. This is all great locker room talk, isn't it? Like, come on, let's turn this game around. We're down 3 touchdowns. That's great. That's going to make you more inspired. Yes, you just broke your arm. Great. Yes, the service light comes on in your car. Yes, 7 words. You know a 7-word mantra. Because of this, something good will happen. It's great theory. But when people live it and model it and become a North Star for all of us, then this award is not for every kid. It's for all of us. One day you dream of having a family. And Jake, Tori, and Allie, given to me by this amazing Jody, created a team that offered me a chance to coach a game. I thought it was the big game against Bergen. I wanted to coach one day, maybe a state championship game. And then God said, give it a shot. And because of you, all the little things, St. Peter's, all the little plays, all the little stroke, you can do this. Allie, you look great today. Jake, keep it up. Tori, hang in there. Be that extra strong sister. All the little teeny, incremental, marginal, inspirational messages. You created this. I love this story because it's real. So tonight I get a chance to introduce one of my 3 heroes. And they all happen to be sitting together over in this corner. And when you're a coach, you hate MVPs. You hate it. There's no MVP because everyone on this team counts. Tonight, Allie gets a special award, but Tori and Jake march right up onto that podium. And that's what great teams do. In finale, E plus R equal O. The events in our life every day do not dictate the outcome. Your response does. Number 2, if you focus in on what you can control, which is just 4 things, then you will never have a feeling of anxiety, fear, or just feeling like life is out of your control. And those are your attitude, your thoughts that you choose, your effort level and your choice every day. I forgot the fourth. Finally, can you turn obstacles into opportunities? Can we every day look at the tough stuff and go, because of this, I'm going to get better? Allie, thank you for all the hard work. She just drove back from Pittsburgh today, appeared last night in Pittsburgh, the night before in Pittsburgh, drove back today, and then just keeps going. And all of our family calls Allie for counsel. We all go, Allie, what should we do? Because she's somewhat of an alien. She's somewhat magical. She just seems to use karma as her trick. She gives and gives and gives. And then almost like magic, the universe gives back. Thank you, Allie, and congratulations.
Can I use it? Oh boy. The mic is hot. The way I like it. Thank you. Okay, one second. Let me find the perfect spot. Yeah, there she is. Thank you so much to the RHS Alumni Association for this award. I've received some really cool awards in my life. But this award means so much to me because it comes from my original team. The people who knew me before I was a superstar. The people who believed in me before I believed in myself. I want to clarify something about the Tony speech. So, I said what I said because one of my big motivations in my career and life is around representation. Because I didn't have it growing up. I never saw women in wheelchairs. We didn't have social media and access to like people all over the world with disabilities doing cool stuff. So I didn't really have anyone to look to, but I had this unbelievable army and community behind me, believing in me, saying, yes, Allie, you can be the president of the school. Yes, Allie, you could be the star of the musical. Yes, Allie, you can do really hard stuff. And I know you don't see anybody else out there like you, but you got this. And so thank you all so much for helping me get to my dreams and my goals. But a very special thanks to the original 5 over here, Mom, Dad, Jake, and Tori. We all sat down and I was like, it's been a while since the 5 of us have been together because we all have partners and kids now, and you know, the team continues to grow. But you know, I really believe that you are a reflection of where you come from and who you come from. And I can sit up here and speak like this because of what you just saw before. I found my passion and learned how to go after it because of my mom. Her dedication to her kids finding what they loved and what they needed in their life. Tori, my best friend from the minute she was born, whether she liked it or not, taught me about loyalty and trust. And Jake represented courage through our entire life. Never talked about it, just modeled it. And so with that combination, I feel like I have been able to arrive in this dream life that I imagined in my mind as a little girl. And so to come back tonight to be with my family, all of you, is so beyond special. Thank you for your unbelievable support. I feel it on every single Instagram post, on every single show, on every single interview. I feel my Ridgewood family. You all are amazing. Thank you so much. Have an amazing night. And I just want to, my husband is not here tonight. He couldn't make it, but he is there for me every single day now, right by my side as my partner. And I could never do it without him. He is so driven and as passionate as me, and we make such a cool team, and I dreamed of being married and having a partner, and that happened this past year. So I want to highlight David as well, even though he's not here tonight.
Hi everybody, I'm Siobhan Graham-Winograd, and I was super psyched today when I found out I was going after the Strokers. Just today. So I'm Siobhan Graham-Winograd. I'm class of 1991 from Ridgewood, and I also went to Orchard. Is there anyone else Orchard in the house? Okay, a little louder please. Orchard. So why I bring that up is about 5 years ago, I was at Mount Bethel, and I was there for the Martin Luther King celebration of the gospel concert, and I heard this amazing story about Thomas Hawkins. And like me, like us, Thomas Hawkins would have gone to Orchard, he would have been our neighbor, he would have lived in our neighborhood. And that was fascinating to me. He graduated in 1942, and this story was amazing to me. And at the same point, Tom Gorman, Billy, and Kevin and I were talking about this event, and it was beginning to crystallize of what our criteria meant to be distinguished. And that sounds sort of obvious now, but we had categories, arts, things like that. But the number one thing when we sat down to come up with a category, even for the website, was service. And Thomas Hawkins served in the US military. And so I was sitting there listening to this story, thinking he would have been there, he would have been our friend, he would have been our neighbor, he went to our high school, and the world was completely destabilized in 1942, and he left Ridgewood High School, from the high school, walked to the train station, enlisted, and went and served our country. And to me, that was a beautiful story. Obviously Kathy, everybody was here with me, and the number one scorecard for us every time we put it together was service. So I called Tom, I said I found the perfect candidate, and we decided that he should be honored. Added to that now, that was very important then, it'll be very important always, but I think it's worth noting, we're sitting here in 2022, and again, the world is slightly destabilized. So service for the Ridgewood High School community has always been important, for our country it's been important, and now it's even more important in a lot of ways. So I'm here to induct Thomas Hawkins, a man I never met, who would have lived down the street from my husband Mike and I, who probably would have been our friend at Orchard School, and served our military and served our country and paid the ultimate sacrifice. So my friend Kathy is here to accept this award on behalf of Mount Bethel, and I am so thankful for everybody who ran this event tonight and for this program, because I think it's a beautiful thing.
Thank you. I would like to actually give this to a Ridgewood graduate, my daughter.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ashley Hamilton, and it's so great to see so many familiar faces in here tonight. I graduated from RHS just last year in 2021, and I currently attend the John Jay College of Criminal Justice in New York City, and I study forensic psychology within their honors program. Besides me, I have my mother, Kathy Hamilton, who is deaconess and church secretary at Mount Bethel Baptist Church. And then on the other side of me, I have my good friend, Garrett Henson, who also graduated Ridgewood High School and is a member of Mount Bethel Baptist Church. I am beyond excited and grateful to accept this award for Thomas Hawkins on behalf of Mount Bethel Baptist Church. Him and his family were members of Mount Bethel, where he sang on the junior choir, and as we all know, he was a member of the Tuskegee Airmen later in his life. In his memory, his family donated our altar cross and candle holders in remembrance of his great legacy. As an alumni of RHS myself, learning about his history through the church since I was younger allowed me to see that also I should always shoot for the stars and never give up. That term is a term from our late Dr. Reverend Pastor Thomas Johnson, as we all know and love. I would like to thank the RHS Alumni Association for honoring Thomas Hawkins' life, and Mount Bethel accepts this award with open arms, and we thank God for this incredible recognition. Thank you all.
All right. Hello, everybody. Hot mic. Oh, did I blow out the microphone? Oh, God. It was that hot. Okay, we'll put this one down. I don't think I'll need a microphone. A lot of surprises tonight. I didn't think Coach Stroker would go longer than his daughter, Allie, in his speech. He did lose me at E+R=O. Well, he's my friend. We've been friends for a long time. So I love you. And Allie, love you too. Okay. Great night. My name is Mark Kosick, class of 1993. More importantly, I'm here to introduce our next honoree. This woman dedicated her life to education. She was class of 1971. She's not here right now, so don't clap. Okay. Dr. Deborah Thomas, and here to receive her award tonight is her nephew, who...
Cousin.
Oh, cousin, Jesus. Okay. Yes. We didn't rehearse this. Her cousin, who obviously was inspired. He's had a career in education himself. He was a teammate of mine. He's given a lot of great service back to this community. And if you know him, I know you love him. I don't know if I can call him T-Bone in front of you, but I will. And my friend who I care so much about, Mr. Torrey Watson.
Okay, well, I won't need a mic either. Part of my vocation is to project, and I'm also glad that I didn't go right after Jim. I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight. Thank the RHS Alumni Association for having us all here. I'd like to congratulate all of tonight's inductees and their families on this wonderful achievement. It's a privilege to be here, representing my family, to honor our cousin Deborah G. Thomas on her induction into this distinguished group of people. Growing up here in town, my family was always the most important and most influential group of people in my life. Who I am as a man, a father, a friend, a colleague, and a professional were shaped through the values and pillars of character that were always fostered inside the houses I grew up in within this town on Van Buren Street, South Broad Street, and Highwood Avenue. The strength of your faith and making sure you were the best and most honest person you could always be were held in the highest regard. Being expected to work extremely hard, never quitting, and giving your best effort were also a must growing up in the family that I did. Making sure you did what you could to maximize your educational experience here in Ridgewood was always a requirement for all of our family members. Given this, there was a legacy devoted to education that had many of us continue in that discipline as professionals later on in life. It all began with my grandmother, Elizabeth Davis, who later became Elizabeth Lewis, who graduated from Ridgewood High School in the class of 1933. And it's continued through to my youngest niece in the class of 2025, who becomes the 13th member of our family to graduate from Ridgewood High School. By the time I began to go through the Ridgewood Public School system, the foundation had already been laid, and the examples were constantly being brought forth when needed to encourage and remind me of what was expected. My cousin Debbie was the academic example that was most frequently used when encouraging me at home to have more pride in my academic achievement. Debbie's passion was teaching and devotion to academics. After entering Ridgewood High School in the fall of 1969, her accomplishments in her studies opened the door for her to have the opportunity to attend Middlebury College in the fall of 1971. With this opportunity, Debbie took additional classes in the summer after her junior year at RHS to qualify her for an early graduation and make herself eligible to start at Middlebury College a year earlier than her entering classmates at RHS. Debbie went on to success in education at Middlebury College and Brown University. Her passion for all aspects of education and academic success led her to become a professor and lecturer at Yale University for close to 20 years, an administrator at Yale, and a board member at Middlebury College. As an associate dean of the graduate school at Yale, she oversaw the administration of graduate education, the awarding of fellowships and grants, and the recruitment of underrepresented students. She also served as an associate secretary to the university and assistant to the president. A high point of her career at Yale was her work as a member of the Yale Corporation fact-finding delegation to South Africa, which led to the establishment of new educational initiatives. She also served on the Middlebury Board of Trustees from 2004 to 2019, chairing the College Board of Advisors and the Educational Affairs Committee during her tenure as a trustee. Her professional and personal accomplishments speak to her character, intestinal fortitude, and drive for commitment to success that were instilled in her throughout her family's influence and her foundation of education she received from the Ridgewood Public Schools. Unfortunately, she and her husband Jim were not able to be here tonight to receive this most prestigious award. However, I'm happy to be the one representing her and our family tonight. We're extremely proud of her and extremely thankful for this distinction.
Good evening, and thank you for this honor. It's really daunting, as everyone has mentioned, to be in the company of greatness and personal heroes, from every single person who has spoken and introduced to all the people who have received. So I'm very nervous. And I have to confess, I don't think I should be the one giving this speech, because the person who initially mentioned Ajay's name for this award was Mark Ferreri. Mark first told me about the award and said, Ajay should get this. His resume is greater than President Obama's. Now, while Ajay's name had flickered across my mind, my sensibilities as a younger sister thwarted that idea very quickly. Over the years, Ajay's name crossed my mind again and again, but I thought maybe I'd oversell him, or maybe I'd undersell him. Equally unfair. And I let it go. And then over the years, with a tepid maturation, I kicked myself when I realized I'd wrongly sidelined him, Dr. Ajay Kirtane, only because he was my brother. As his worth in the field of medicine and when it comes to taking care of patients, in those realms, he's exceptional. Ajay is one of the most unassuming people you will meet. And I'm going to put this out there. I'll likely speak longer than him because he won't say anything about himself. It's also hard to do this because he doesn't say anything about himself. I don't even know what he does half the time. His genuine, affable, and simple demeanor are what make him so relatable. Meeting him, one would not realize that he is one of the leading interventional cardiologists in the world, a field which is all about the heart, conducting angioplasties and stent procedures, and caring for people and literally keeping them alive. When you meet him, he'll talk to you about March Madness, Federer, Taco Bell, Mexican pizzas, and the problems with his own two-handed backhand, and his travails on a Ninja Warrior course for 7-year-olds. One would not know that he's the chief academic officer for the Center for Interventional Vascular Therapy at Columbia University Medical Center, a full professor, and the director of the Cardiac Catheterization Lab at New York Presbyterian Hospital. I had no idea that he had authored over 500 manuscripts including writing the coronary stent chapter in 2 leading textbooks for interventional cardiology. He has no airs about him. When we told our kids we were coming to this dinner, they asked why, for whom, and they couldn't figure out how any of us were distinct. Ajay's accolades started long before the present. He won the prize for contributions to scientific research at Princeton and the award for humanism in medicine at Columbia Med School. What stands out to me is it's about science and it's about humanity. Granted, he was selected chief resident at UCSF and won the Cardiology Fellow Award from Harvard Medical School while concurrently gaining a master's in clinical epidemiology from Harvard Public School of Health. But these are not the driving reasons for his nomination, at least not for me. They prove his mettle and recognize that others see his potential and value as a scientist and a humanitarian. All these accolades indicate the dedication of his life to his passion to help others through bettering himself. I nominated Ajay because he was a goofy guy in high school. He was a graduate of the Ridgewood High School class of 1990, a varsity member of the tennis team, chess team, biology team, math team, quiz bowl team, marching band, jazz band. Yes, he was.
Travell School.
Travell Tiger. And he went on, though, to take these lessons of learning and leadership to the larger world where he continued and continues to lead in his endeavors. He's a pretty regular guy. And he gives back to thousands, probably a lot more than thousands, of people around the world, the nation, the region, and as he collaborates and teaches about stenting via video conferencing, as he mentors people, he allows cameras to follow his hands through people's bodies, and he telecasts globally to doctors at all hours of the day and night, mentoring people in order to give help to people who otherwise would not get help. He works when most people sleep and works when most people wake, and yet he manages to always have time to help everybody else and play with our kids as one of them. My kid is with him right now. Many private clinics and teaching hospitals have courted him with lucrative job offers because of his vision and his work, which are both transformational. But he only goes where he can continue to do work as a scientist, an academic, and a humanitarian without the need for credit. A former student, now an accomplished doctor, came back to visit me and asked me, not how am I doing, but why didn't I mention that my brother was Dr. Ajay Kirtane? And I said, this is my brother. His resume is a consequence of endless work and was never been ended. It was a means to figure out how to help as many people as he could. As a younger sister, it was always easy to see his wins and blame my losses on external circumstances. That's what goes down on paper, wins. But I also saw Ajay work really hard in a way that I've never seen someone work. He had it tough growing up as a kid, of immigrants looking to find their way in a new world. He was on a bus going to school at the age of 4 by himself. He often had to figure out who he was without the privilege that I've always had and in which I was raised. What I see now is like any one of us. He has struggled and he has failed. Whether by his own hand or by circumstances outside of his control, he has grown willing to realize that, and he has developed the incredible ability to lay bare fully and go back to the operating table of his own mind and heart to figure out how to improve. It's what endears him to me and what I admire about him as an academic, a practitioner, and a person. I nominated him because his work never ends after the procedure of helping someone, even himself, is done. He's a researcher and a teacher who saves lives, sometimes at the expense of his own. He's truly a doctor of the heart in the best of ways. I'm so proud and humbled to invite you to meet my brother.
Well, what do I say?
You know, she's a little lighter skinned than the rest of us. She might be related to the strokers. But, you know, honestly, when Billy interviewed me about a year ago for something for the association, I told him, like, you know, I give talks and I can talk about stents and hearts and all of that. But, like, I was more nervous for that than I'd been for an interview in quite a long time. I think, you know, the reason is just like she said, I was like an awkward kid. I was an awkward Indian brown kid growing up in Ridgewood, and you had to find your way through that. Like, my parents didn't know why I wanted to go out at night. My mom would say to me, you know, why don't you do things in the daytime? There are many more things to do. So, I mean, she's right. I try to use that line on my own kids. But, you know, it wasn't easy, and I think that one of the things that was greatest about Ridgewood is that it allowed me to become who I am. And when I'm on the stage and polished and teaching people or talking to patients about really serious matters, their loved ones, you know, having chest pain, what can we do about it, and I seem formed, it's because of where I came from. And where I came from was not just my family, who are all there, amazing, amazing people. Many of you know them. They're truly inspiring, but also what I had in school. The teachers that inspired me, and frankly, all the friends that were out there. This event is just like Ridgewood High School, where everybody is unbelievable, much better than you are. But that's what inspires you to be better. Because seeing people like that around you, different in each of their own individual ways, allows you to express your own differences and to be confident in them and ultimately, hopefully, do great things with it. So, you know, for me, this association is incredible. I got a little bit of the history of it, how Tom Gorman and others sort of formed it. I don't know Tom, but I know it's a loss to have him not going to be in Ridgewood. But I know what's going to happen here is strong and going to stay strong because of what everybody here is about. I also know that one of the most important things about this association that I immediately found was that it gives back to the kids. Because those kids who, when I did this interview, were asking me questions, and some kid later who said, you know, this was really important for me to hear you talk about what you do, that's what it's about. And ultimately, in life, giving back is really what makes things more fulfilling. So I just want to thank everybody for being here today. It's just really a privilege. I'm humbled by all of the honorees, the people that have gotten this award before me. I'm just humbled by all of you being here. I don't want to miss thanking my family, my wife Amu, who essentially gave up her career, which was better than mine, to take care of our family, my son and daughter, Jonavi and Sachin. Also my brother, he always beat me in sports. He was shorter than I was, and he would just give it to me. I mean, he knows, like, if he wants me to crack, if anybody can make me crack, he can make me crack anytime. One word, and I'll just combust. But he's so inspiring to me over the years. My sister, who literally, you know, toiled as the third kid in this family, but yet is so inspiring, has won awards, and you know, her husband, all the kids that are here too. It's just really incredible, and ultimately inspired by my parents. Who actually turns out moved to Ridgewood because of some realtor bought them lunch for free. And they were like, this is a good town. So thank you to both of them. They're both physicians as well. You know, all the patient care stuff that I've done is inspired by the way they've treated their patients, me, the sacrifices they've made, and honestly, thanks so much. Really, really appreciate it.
Tonight it's my honor to induct our fifth honoree, who is not here tonight. It's David A. Duffield. Mr. Duffield lives in Lake Tahoe, and he also is actively running his sixth company, which is called Ridgeline. So I'm going to read his introduction, and then I'm going to share a few remarks. David A. Duffield, class of 1958. Dave Duffield is an enterprise software entrepreneur who founded 6 companies, including 2 that grew to be publicly traded global business leaders, PeopleSoft and Workday. He is currently the founder and CEO of Ridgeline, a startup building a software platform for the investment management industry. Dave is known for making employees and customer service a top priority, and his companies are known for their focus on core values and people-based cultures. He's a father of 10, a grandfather of 9, a husband, and a philanthropist. His first family foundation, Maddie's Fund, is a leading nationwide influencer and supporter of innovative solutions in animal welfare. His current foundation, the Dave and Cheryl Duffield Foundation, supports his local community, veterans, and companion animal welfare. He has a special interest in giving back to the educational institutions that provided him with an exceptional experience, in addition to supporting the Duffield STEAM initiative at Ridgewood High School. Dave is the benefactor behind Duffield Hall, one of the country's most sophisticated research and teaching facilities for nanoscale science. I'm sure you know what that means. And engineering at Cornell University, where Dave earned a BS in electrical engineering in 1962 and an MBA in 1964. While at Ridgewood High School, Dave received the top math award for the class of 1958 through the first no-hitter in school history, and was a New Jersey All-State pitcher. So during the past 2.5 years, I've spent a fair amount of time learning about the life of Dave Duffield. I've read a lot about him. I've watched interviews he's done with Cornell and Stanford. I've listened to his protege and best friend and Workday co-founder Neil Boucherie describe him. I've had a Zoom call with the head of strategy of his current company, Ridgeline. I've spoken many times with the employees of his foundation. And I've been fortunate to have had direct correspondence with him on a few occasions. There's been a consistent theme from all of these sources. Dave is brilliant and very competitive, yet nurturing and kind and fun. Dave usually is the smartest person in the room, yet feels no need to make sure anyone knows it. Dave's a man who to this day wakes up 6 days a week, puts on his blue jeans and a flannel shirt, and heads straight to work to motivate, inspire, and lead his team. He's a person who puts employees, customers, and people ahead of all else. Dave is a man who has made corporate values the epicenter of each business he's run for over 50 years. He's a leader who, in my opinion, represents all of the values and virtues Ridgewood Public Schools hopes to instill in its students. Mr. Duffield's gift to RHS last year was the largest single gift in Ridgewood Public Schools history. When the original offer was made to the Alumni Association that we could submit a grant request to him, we asked, well, what's important to Dave and where would he like to see the funds go? He simply responded with one request. I'd like my gift to benefit the greatest number of students. A few months ago, after we shared with Dave some of the media coverage about his historic gift, he wrote to me and said, thank you to the Ridgewood High School Alumni Association for the thoughtful publicity about the Duffield STEAM initiative. While I don't like to be front and center news, I'm grateful to be associated with such an exceptional school. Well, Dave, I can say with certainty that RHS and the Alumni Association are equally grateful to be associated with such an exceptional person. Mr. Duffield's business career and life journey are legendary. They really are. But his values and his humility are even more impressive. It is with great pleasure that I induct Dave Duffield as a Ridgewood High School Distinguished Alumnus. So I'm going to send you off with a few words, and then hopefully we'll let you eat before midnight. I like to say that there's a secret sauce to RHS. And the formula to that secret sauce is actually pretty simple. It's our people. We have incredible administrators, incredible teachers, and incredible staff, many of who are alumni, who help shape young people's lives. And then those young people become adults and ultimately alumni. And so often our alumni amaze us with what they choose to do out in the world. But no matter where we go, or where they go, or how successful they become, almost every alum will trace their success back to those formative years at RHS. And almost every alum is willing and eager to reach back and help the next generation. With those ideas in mind, Dr. Gorman and that first RHSAA executive team of Keith Hawkins, Siobhan Winograd, Jackie Hennessy, Steve Carell, and a handful of others got together about 8 years ago and thought to themselves that even though we're not a private school or a college, and even though it's very unusual for a public high school to have a 501c3 alumni association, we could really build something special with our alumni. And that's what gave birth to this Alumni Association. And in just 8 years of existence, the Alumni Association has launched an annual reunion weekend, raised over $1 million for RHS, connected hundreds of RHS students to alumni for career advice, and honored our most distinguished alumni. And the best proof of that secret sauce are nights like tonight and these 5 remarkable people. So when you have a night like tonight, you need to thank a lot of people, and I'm going to do just that. First off, I want to thank our distinguished alumni co-chairs, Jackie Hennessy and Cara Callan. Jackie has organized this event before, and Cara just planned her wedding, so that was a great combination. But thank you very much. You guys did a wonderful job. I want to thank Amy Evanstein for those beautiful booklets that are on your tables. And Mark Kosick for handling all of our communications about the event. I want to thank our entire alumni board, and not just the current board, but the former trustees. In fact, if you're here tonight and you're a former or current trustee, I'm going to ask you to please stand. These are incredible people. You know, we don't have any staff, but we're operating a pretty big operation now. But these are incredible people. They're also the people that run every other nonprofit and every other volunteer job in their communities and in Ridgewood. They are so dedicated. They're doing everything for the Alumni Association in addition to their real-time jobs, in addition to raising their families, in addition to taking care of possibly their parents. Amazing, amazing group of people. I also want to thank all of the Ridgewood, not just RHS, administrators, teachers, and staff, and I'm going to ask you to please stand to be recognized as well. On behalf of all the parents of Ridgewood, including all the difficult parents of Ridgewood.
There are none.
Challenge. We thank you for your incredible care and dedication to our students, especially during these past 2 years. So thank you very much. I want to thank Sheila Brogan for being here and representing the Board of Education. She's an incredible volunteer and has been on the Board of Ed for at least 25 years. And we really appreciate all of her support. She's a huge supporter of the Alumni Association, so thank you, Sheila. I want to thank Jeff Nyes. Jeff is not able to be here tonight. He had a medical emergency in his family he had to attend to. Jeff has been at RHS for many years. He's only been the principal for a short while. He has been an amazing partner and contributor to the Alumni Association, and I can tell you that Ridgewood High School is in great hands with Jeff at the helm. So thank you, Jeff. Not that I really needed the glasses to look at this name. I very much want to thank Tom Gorman and acknowledge Tom. You know, it's a little bittersweet tonight since Tom announced last week that he's moving on to become the superintendent of schools in Montville. Tom is an amazing person, a great leader, and has been a driving force behind the Alumni Association since its inception. I was thinking about this today. Perhaps ironically, the best compliment we can give Tom is that this organization that he has had such a strong hand in building will survive and will thrive even when he's no longer part of the Ridgewood Public School System. Thank you so much, Tom. Finally, I want to thank our 5 amazing distinguished alumni tonight. These are 5 people from different eras, 5 people from different backgrounds and with different journeys. They are remarkable in very different ways, yet they share the bond of being RHS graduates. You inspire us, you make us proud to call you fellow alumni, and congratulations on tonight, Tomer. thank you all for attending. Enjoy your dinner and have a wonderful night.